Okay, so we are here. We're here to talk tonight about selling to the make money now market. Selling to the make money now market. And you might wonder now, who is that? Who are we talking about? And before we get started, I just want to kind of give you a little insight here. And I want to say, first of all, you can relax. Okay, this webinar is not a setup. So I'm not setting you up so that I can hit you up and give you a really high, a really high price offer. I will let you know there's going to be an offer at the end for those of you who want to get your product installed. I'm going to do a special offer. I'm going to give you a special incentive to do that. Now, most of you have already seen that offer. You've already seen our offer to have your product installed professionally by our team. Now, that's all you're going to see in terms of an offer tonight. So you can relax. This content is going to be for you. I'm going to give you an incentive. I'm going to give you a special bonus if you want to take advantage of that tonight. So that's out the way. Then let's go ahead and get started. Now, who are you selling to when we're talking about the make money now market? Now, whether or not you're talking about the freebie factor or instant cash magnet, we're talking about people with a limited budget, right? Typically, those are the folks who want to make money now. And even if you have been online any length of time, you have probably been there in that category yourself. You want or need to make money now. How many of you all either have or you know people, right, or you might fit this category yourself? These are people who have tried on their own to make money in two categories. Maybe they've tried network marketing, or maybe they've tried internet marketing, and it hasn't worked, right? How many of you all know those people? If you know folks who are like that, who want to make money now, they fit in those categories. I want you to put a Y in the question box, because we all know folks who fit those categories. Yeah, plenty of you. And so what happens is they then go through these business opportunities, and for whatever reason, they don't make it work. There's nothing wrong with network marketing. There's nothing wrong with internet marketing, CPA marketing, AdSense, nothing wrong with any of it. Sometimes it's where you are able to put your skills to make money. Now, you're also selling people who want money, who don't just want money, right? It's not a luxury. How many of you all know people in your circle or who are your customers who it's not that they want to make money. They're trying to get rich. How many of you all know people whose back is against the wall? They need money. How many of you all know those folks? I know them, right? And so if you know those people, those are going to be the people who are in the make money now market. And those are going to be the folks who need and want your product. They want your product because they want money and they need money. It's not that kind of thing. They're hoping when they get your email or when they get your Facebook post that you're going to show them something that's going to help them to make money pretty fast. Now, here's the thing about this market that you're going to like, especially if you're an internet marketer. These markets are evergreen, right? They're evergreen. They will always be, these markets will always be there. You will always be able to reach people who want to make money now. Now, these markets are lucrative. Now, what do I mean by that? In other words, if you can show these folks whether or not your product is $10, $17, $27, if you can show them how to pay their mortgage, they are going to reward you with their attention, right? And you can do that with the product that you have. I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. Now, who am I? I want to tell you who I am. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Maybe in another webinar, I'll tell you kind of who I am. But okay, so I've got degrees. Okay, and now after I got my undergrad, for a little while, I worked at a bank. I worked at a boarding school. While I was at the boarding school, I got my MBA. Now, I started a doctorate in education, but I left that doctorate because I got tired of the politics. And then in 2009, right, in 2009, here's what happened. I was at a job I loved, and I was at a job that I thought I was going to be at forever. Well, I planned my retirement. I bought a house in this. I thought it was going to be me on this job until I died. In 2009, they came to me and they said, listen, you either need to do things this way, right, which would have caused my wife to have to, as boarding school house parents, we would have had to leave our children unsupervised for 13 hours a day. That was not happening. So because of that, I had to leave the job, right? There was no way I could do what they were asking. So they gave me a little package, and they allowed me to leave. But I hadn't been a warrior since I was 2007. Now, most of us, and from 2007, 2009, I did what a lot of us do. I just played around with internet marketing. I just got a few products here and a few products there. I wasn't taking it seriously. I was just buying WSOs. How many of you all know what I'm talking about? How many of you all know because I can relate to that? You're not necessarily thinking that it's going to be a business, but you just buy some WSOs, man. Maybe something will happen. Maybe something will pop off, and I'll make some money. That was me. But in 2009, right, 2009, listen, I've been employed all my life. I had 2 kids and a wife. I had to get serious and creative. Now, here's the one thing I did know. I knew how to teach online because I had been talking to a computer screen ever since 2003. I knew how to do that. And so when I talk to a computer screen, like I'm talking to you right now, because I had done it so many times, I can actually see your face right now. So I don't have any trouble on webinars. I don't have any trouble in videos. The reason is because I've been doing it since, I don't know, for a long time, and I can literally see your face right now. So that's why I can do this very well. So I had that skill in 2009. So here's what I did, and I told you about this. I built a business selling offline PLR, and I made use of freebies. Now, in another webinar, I'll tell you how I got started, but that's not the point of this course. So here's how I covered my family after I sold my offline PLR business. I had to do freelancing, right? I sold my offline PLR business because, and I'll tell you why, because it wasn't really doing for me what I needed it to, and because I was starting a partnership with some other folks who you also know. Right? I was moving into being in partnership with John and God and the other folks, and so I covered my family in that transition using freelancing, writing, and working with marketers, and that's how I know this works. When we create this product, this is a real product. We didn't just create this product out of thin air, right, which is instant cash. It's because it works. It's because I've done it. It's because I know that if you decide and your back is up against the wall, I mean, when your butt is up against the fire, you can make some money, and you can take this product and you can teach other people how to do it, and they will pay you for them to teach them. Now, if that excites you, put a 1 in the question box. Now, if you haven't made any money online and you're saying, you know what, man, I just want to see some money come into how many of you are tired of seeing money go out of your PayPal account but none coming in? I'm telling you that if you do what I'm talking about on this call, you can see money come into your PayPal account. Now, it's not going to be glamorous. It's not going to be, kind of like the internet lifestyle. You're going to have to do a little work, but it's not hard work. Right? It's not hard work. So in effect, here's what I'm saying. When I say who am I? I was your customer. I would have bought your product. The product that you have in your hands, right? Instant Cash Magnet, I would have bought it. Right? Because I was your customer. I needed it. I needed to make money because in 2009, I didn't have a job. So if you want to build a consistent, sustainable business in this market, right? If you want to build a consistent, sustainable business selling to these people, here's what you got to learn how to do. You got to learn how to give first. You have to know what these people want. Now, I'm going to show you that on this call. You have to be constantly reading. Now, I know that, listen, now I'm going to fuss at you for a second. and it's only going to be for a second here. And if you are not, if all you're reading right now are blogs, you need to get out from behind your computer and get a book. Now, and the reason is because when you start talking about writing, you start talking about doing stuff for marketers, you're talking about being a virtual assistant, you've got to be able to bring other things to the table other than what is in a blog. And so the only way that you create value and you separate yourself from all those other people who are trying to get what you're trying to get is you have to read, and the stuff you got to read is not on a blog because it's in a book. Most blog posts, how many of you all have experienced this? Most blog posts repeat the same things that someone else said. Most blog posts. There are about 10% of all blog posts are original, and about the other 90% are just regurgitations of what somebody else said. And so learning from a blog is hard. You have to be the one creating the new content, and you can't create new content if you're not reading. Okay, so now you're going to see there, you need to have some experience. So you need to give first. You have to know what they want. You have to be constantly reading, and you have to have some experience. Now, if you have ever read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, if you haven't read it, there's a link there. I want you to read it. Here's why. Malcolm Gladwell looked at successful musicians, Bill Gates, athletes, and they were all broken down into, well, what is the common element of their success? To a person, all of them achieve their success after mastering something over the course of 10,000 hours. That is what it took for them to become an expert. That's what made Bill Gates Bill Gates. Now, I'm not saying you're going to spend 10,000 hours before you make $1 online. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you invest yourself and you decide you are going to make it in this industry, you're going to have to invest yourself to become an expert. That's who gets paid. That's who discovers the new loophole. That's who discovers the new trend inside of Facebook ads. That's who discovers the new stuff inside of YouTube. You have to decide that you are going to be the expert in a niche. Doesn't matter which niche it is, but you decide, and sometimes, and what Malcolm Gladwell says in Outliers says it takes 10,000 hours in order to do that. Now, so if you haven't read that book, I want you to read it. The other book is by Cal Newport. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You, and that's what you have to be. Right? If you're going to be in internet marketing, everybody wants to be a superstar. Everybody wants to come out with the WSO of the day or JVZoo product of the day, or everybody wants to have a big product launch. Right? But you have to be, in order to break out from the crowd, your stuff needs to be so good they can't ignore you. If you haven't read that book, I suggest you read it. Now, so you have to learn how to give. You have to know what they want. You have to be constantly reading. You have to have some experience. And here's what's key. You need to have some working relationships. If you have these 5 things, you can build a sustainable business in any niche. Right? But you need to have some working relationships. Now, I'm not talking about somebody you're best buds with or somebody you're joking around with. I'm talking about working relationships, because these are the folks who end up being your JVs, right? I have people who, look, I don't drink, so I'm not going out to drinking with these guys. But you know what? A JV doesn't care, right? If I don't drink with them, they care if they can make money and they know me. You need to know some people who can make you money. And if you don't know anybody personally, you need to get started as soon as you get off this call. If you don't know anybody who can make you money, if you don't know anybody who's making money, who you don't have a personal relationship with, you need to get started when you get off this phone. Now, all this stuff transcends internet marketing. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you from experience. I don't care. You can have the most dynamite product there is. You can be the best freelancer there is. But if you don't have relationships, you're not going to get those plum jobs. You're not going to get those plum opportunities. You're not going to even hear about them. You're not going to hear about them because these things happen between relationships. And you need to start where you are. If you don't have any relationships, get some. When I say working relationships, notice I say there, you might have to do some apprenticing. That's right. You might have to do some time, doing some time with someone just so they can know what you do. You might have to do some freelancing. And that's what we're talking about in Instant Cash Magnet. Now, let's see, did I advance? Okay, yeah. Okay, so the folks that you're talking about, now they might know this. It's very likely, now you're going to be able to tell them, okay, you can go to Freelance, you can go to Odesk and put together a profile. Guys, they know that already. How many of you all have ever been to Freelance or Odesk? I don't know about you, it gives me a headache. And I've been there, and honestly, right? Honestly, I can honestly tell you, it's overwhelming when you first get started. And so if you're trying to make some cash, right? If your customers want to make some money, right? Tell them just if all they got to do, if their short-term strategy is to go to Freelance and Odesk, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to cut it. Right? You got to give more than that. You got to be able to give them more than that if you want them to buy your product, if you want them to follow you, if you want them to get on your email list for this product, you got to be able to give them more. You got to be able to give them secrets. You got to be able to give them some inside information. So what can you tell them? What can you give them other than sending them to Odesk? Because that's a good long-term strategy. They have to build a profile at these places if they're going to be able to have those opportunities to make freelance or instant cash. But look, as you said, and one of you all have said this already, the conventional way is going to be way too slow, right? Too slow. So what's going to happen? You have to show them some alternatives that will get them money into their PayPal account. So now, here are some suggestions. I'm going to tell you, and if you are not going to get the slides, you need to write this down because this is what you need to tell people in order to let them know that you are an expert, in order to get them interested in you and your product. Right? You need to share some secrets with them. Now, I'm going to share some suggestions as to where I have had success. I want you to write this site down. Scripted.com. Scripted.com. Scripted.com is a writing business, and they look for writers. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's not for everybody, and it's not even easy to get into. But they do have $50 jobs. Now, I'm going to tell you something, that if your customer can get a $50 job, write an article, and make $50, they're going to love you, right? Right? Just by you telling them about Scripted.com. Look, you want to get somebody interested in your product? Start sharing secrets on Facebook. Start sharing secrets in your email. Start sharing secrets on social media. Say, hey, you know what? Here's something that you can do in order to start getting instant cash. One thing you can do is you can start writing with Scripted.com. Okay, Scripted.com is spelled Scripted.com. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, Scripted.com. Okay, and now again, they're not easy to get into, but some of your customers will benefit from this, and they fly under the radar. Not a lot of people know about Scripted, and not a lot of people follow through the process. But look, you need to let people know that they can get $50 a pop when they write an article. Now, how many of you know about the $5 per article rates on the Warrior Forum? right? How many of y'all know about those rates? $5 per 500 words. Now, if you can tell somebody that they can make $50, right, that's going to be a lot better than $5, right? So scripted.com. Okay, freelancewritingjobs.com. I have gotten jobs from there. I don't know how I did, but I have. Okay, and there is a process, and that's really partially what the course talks about, which is how they can go to these sites and get jobs like that. Right, but that site works. I know it works because I have gotten jobs, and they haven't been $5 jobs. Okay, freelancewritingjobs.com. mediabistro.com. Now, this is a journalism site. This site is looking for journalists. However, if you are an expert or your customers are an expert in a particular area, they can get writing jobs at mediabistro.com. Start telling your people, start telling your potential customers, right, so they can start getting interested. Start blogging. Right, if you don't have any traffic, start writing. You can write a blog post on each and every one of these things. Right? You can write a blog post on scripted.com. And at the end of your blog post, say this. If you want to know about more, if you want to know more about how you can get instant cash from your writing skills, go to this web address. How many of y'all can do that? How many of y'all can start a WordPress blog, do a blog post on scripted.com, share it on social media, and at the end of your article say, if you want more information, you can get it from your website. How many of you all can do that? You can do that. That's easy, right? If you're not getting any traffic right now, you can do that in 2 hours after I get off the call. You can finish that project tonight. You can be getting traffic to your offer tonight if you do that. Okay, mediabistro.com. Craigslist. Now look, I know that people are all over doing, now can I just tell you something? Now I know that people do auto poster and people try to post in 10 cities and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, I never did any of that. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff in order to try to, and you don't need to tell your customers to do that, because when it stops working or the software stops working, they're going to be looking at you. Now, that's just my recommendation. Don't be recommending people go out and get this stuff that only works for a week and works for a month. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm saying Craigslist finds a way to shut it down, and then your high-powered software doesn't work. Right? So stop telling people about this stuff. So Craigslist.com does have opportunities. Have them look in the writing section. Do a video and show them how to do that. VirtualVocations.com. Now, here's what I like about Virtual Vocations, and I've gotten jobs from there. VirtualVocations.com actually goes through all those Craigslist ads. So if there's a writing kind of like marketing job, their people will go and scour the internet and try to get them so that you can see them through their site. Now, you are going to have to pay a subscription to be part of virtualvocations.com. But I think it's minimal. Okay, if you don't have any money, right, $12 isn't going to hurt you, or $50 for 6 months, right? I have gotten jobs on virtualvocations.com. I think it's $12 a month or something like that, or $50 every 6 months, whatever it is. Look, and you need to let your customers know that they're going to have to commit to spending a little money in order to get some opportunities. Okay, virtualvocations.com. Flexjobs.com. I've gotten opportunities from flexjobs.com. Sometimes the opportunities at flexjobs.com are the same at Virtual Vocations, right? But I've gotten opportunities from there, and they're possible. Now, I'm going to put on here Fiverr, right? They can set up a Fiverr thing, but I'm not going to recommend that. That's a hard way to go, man. That's a hard way to go, and I have not personally been able to make it work. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it's hard, okay, and it's competitive, right? But it's possible. So I'm going to put it in there. And look, you need to show your people all the alternatives. Show them all the alternatives, because you might find somebody who has something that might be unique for Fiverr, and they might be able to find some work that way. So tell them about it in order to get them interested in you and your product. Now, I want to show you something here. Now, in order to make Elance and Odesk work, right? In order to make Elance and Odesk work, here's my strategy, right? And this is what somebody told me. You have to be doing something that others aren't doing. So if all you're going to put down on your profile is, I write articles, and I know how to do internet marketing, and I know how to do Google Places, and that's not, okay, that's cool, right? But everybody's going to say that. And you need to tell your customers that, yeah, they need to have all that stuff on there, but they need to be doing something that other people aren't doing, right? That they need to, you've got to have something that makes you stand out. Okay, I'm going to tell you this because, again, now I didn't have a full profile. Right? I did not have a full profile at Elance. Okay, but I was an online radio host. I had a blog talk radio show that had 20 episodes. So I called myself an online radio host, and would you know it, right? Some guy calls me, and some guy sends me an email. He says, you know, he said, I saw all these listings on Elance. They were all overwhelming, but yours really seemed like you're really serious about business. So that's why I contacted you, right? You've got to be doing something. You got to have something in addition to all the other stuff that you can do that makes you different. Now, here's why I say that's important. Now, I want to talk about this in particular, this particular kind of freelancing, right? Particular kind of getting these short-term jobs where you're not necessarily full-time employed. Now, you might have to start out as a virtual assistant, right? But when you start bringing your experience into what you do, I'm telling you, you will get noticed. I have had numerous offers, right? Numerous offers beyond when I started a couple of places saying, look, I'll do the support for you. I'll do some of these things. And as it turned out, once they saw what I could do, then they wanted to pay me. Now, and here's what I was saying to you before about these jobs. You're not going to find these things. You're not going to find these things advertised. Most great opportunities are not going to be advertised. The ones that you can get instant cash for, they're not going to be advertised. Now, here's where you're going to find them. How many of you all are part of Skype groups? You bought a product and then you became part of a Skype group. And then you might have got an invitation to another Skype group. Listen, I'm going to tell you because I've seen it. I've seen it, and I see it every single day, right? These opportunities come out in Skype groups. And if you're not in them, right, I'm not saying that you got to spend all day on Skype. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying, though, that those opportunities, they're being launched in Skype. People don't advertise these opportunities anymore. That's why they're part of these Skype groups, because they're looking for people that they know. Once again, it comes back to relationships. I think Dean just mentioned it. You can also find them in Facebook groups. I know most of you on this call are in Facebook groups, right? And you need to be watching them. Now, I'm not saying, listen, I know Facebook is a huge distraction. I'm not on there all day. So don't think that I'm saying you got to be on there all day. But these opportunities do come up in Facebook groups. And, of course, as I said, you may have to be an apprentice. You may have to apprentice, which means that you might not get paid at first, right? If you don't have any money and you know somebody who knows how to get you paid, you might have to show them what you can do, right? Nobody knows what you can do until you do it. Now, again, I've done that. Now, once you have done the work, right, you need to try the wounded butterfly strategy, right? What's the wounded butterfly strategy? Once somebody knows what you can do, what you do is you go to the person who knows what you can do and say, hey, do you know anybody that needs someone who can do Facebook ads? You know anybody who needs somebody who can do webinars, who can set up hangouts? Hey, do you know somebody who knows how to who needs an article writer? Do you know somebody who knows how to do who needs somebody who can do press releases? Wounded butterfly. You go to the person who knows what you can do, and you know what happens? More often than not, that person will probably find some work for you, or they'll go through their list of contacts and they'll look for you because they already know what you can do. Now, I'm going to tell you this from being a product creator. Providing launch support is huge because if you can help somebody handle a launch, right, that's how you get to know people. Listen, every launch is tight with stuff to do, and it's crazy. When you can provide that kind of support, you will be prime, front, and center with someone who can make something happen for you. Okay, now this one I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, guys. I'm telling you, how many of you all are near local businesses, but you don't want to consult? How many of you all, now I know you all maybe you don't want to do offline consulting, right? Maybe you don't want to be, how many of you all have local businesses? Now, if you do, this is like shooting fish in a barrel, right? These people need videos. If you know how to do one of these animated videos with Sparkle or VideoFX or Easy Sketch Pro, right? You can freelance for these people. If you know how to do, if you know Camtasia, and you can create customer service videos, these people need them to be done, right? If you know how to set up a webinar and a lead page, these people don't know how to do that stuff. And I'm not saying you have to be a consultant, but I am saying this, you know how to do it, they need it to be done, and you can do it for them. You don't have to be a consultant, but you can, listen, if your back is up against the wall and you need some cash, or your customer is, small businesses need this stuff to be done, and they don't know how to do it. And they don't want somebody who's going to come in and charge them an arm and a leg for it, right? If you're not going to be a consultant, and you're not trying to charge them an agency fee, and you want to charge them a reasonable fee to do these things, these are all things that will put cash in your pocket. Look, in some cases, you don't even have to wait for PayPal. Some people will just write you a check, right? How many of you all would like to just walk in and have a check written for you? Listen, I'm not saying this to try to sell you an offline product, right? So I'm coming to you for real. I'm telling you this can be done. Okay, now, here's what you do now. Everything that I've taught you, as of this point, I have told you more, I've given you more than enough now, along with this product for you to make money. Just what now, you need to go back over this webinar, okay? Look at it carefully, look at the notes, get the slides. And now here's what you do. How many of you all know about Udemy.com? Udemy.com is free to create a course. If you have a PayPal account, you can get paid by Udemy. Right? If you don't want to create a course on Udemy, you can write a Kindle book. Listen, I'm just talking about how you can reach this market. Right? You can reach this market. These people want to know how to get this money, and if they have skills, right, they just look, there are right now in the United States, I know not all of you are from the United States, but there's something like 11 million people left the workforce. 11 million people who left the workforce, left it. That means that they don't have any way of putting money in their pocket. And if you can show them how to do it, they will buy your $10 product, man. You got to show them that you know what you're talking about. You got to show them that you can help them, but they will buy your product because because you're an expert in this. Listen, you can create a coaching program. And you might say, now, what am I going to coach these people on to do? You know what you do? You coach them on everything I just told you. You use all the stuff I just told you as a checklist and teach them. Right? You can create, listen, you can create a paid webinar series. How many of you all have, what is it called, Mike Phil-Same's thing? What is that thing? Easy Webinar, or whatever it is. How many of you all have you all bought an automated webinar system? Well, baby, put that thing to work. Put it to work. Create a paid webinar system. Run, click. Yes, absolutely. Walt Bayless's thing. Right. Fire it up, baby. Make it work. Create a paid webinar series. Evergreen webinar style. Exactly. Put this stuff to work. Dust off those WSOs and get them running. Listen, you create a show or a podcast. Create a show, and look, I'm going to tell you this, and now this is just a clue. I'm telling you, I've got a product coming out on how to get corporate sponsors. I'm telling you right now that if you have a show, a podcast, a hangout that's regular, and you know who's coming to that hangout, and you can get them demographic information, corporations will give you money. Now, listen. Now, I'm just telling you. Now, if you got to do internet marketing, what if you didn't have to be on Facebook trying to hunt somebody down? Or what if you didn't have to be building websites? What if all you did was do your Google Hangout or your Blog Talk Radio show, and then Verizon said, I'm going to write you a check, right? One check. I'm not talking about little checks. They write big checks. So, listen, if you can do a show on this material, right, just with what I taught you on this webinar, you can do a podcast just with what I taught you. And you know how you get more information? I got it right there on the slide. You bring in expert presenters. Now, why would an expert presenter want to come on your show? Easy. They want exposure. They want access to your audience. Exactly. And so and then look, if they have products, guess what else you do? When they come on their show, what do? You say, okay, you can sell your product on my show, but what? I'm your what? Affiliate. I'm talking about how to get paid, y'all, with this information. Now, you can also buy a PLR and upgrade it by making it unique. How do you make your PLR unique? Here is something that everybody can do, right? Add in expert interviews. Add in expert interviews. And you might say, now, who do I want to interview? Look at Amazon Kindle. Now, why do I say look at Amazon Kindle? Because every Kindle writer is looking for exposure. I don't care who they are. Most of the time, they publish through Amazon Kindle because they didn't want to go through a traditional publisher. So they're looking for exposure. And you're talking about giving them an audience? Are you kidding me? Right? Buy PLR and bring an expert on. Find a Kindle writer in particular. Okay, now that's how you make money with this information. Now, what's the easiest way? You get your blog site set up, you build your list, engage your subscribers, and you start marketing Instant Cash Magnet. Now, you can do it yourself or let us set it up for you. Now, again, I'm going to show you something at the end of the call. You've seen it before about letting us set it up for you, and I've got a very special bonus for you if you stick around to the end. But you can go to WealthyPLR.com/ICM special. Again, you've seen this before, but I'm going to show you something at the end that's going to be pretty special if you get it on the call tonight. Now, what about the freebie crowd? Some of you all bought the freebie product, right? Some of you all bought F Factor. So what do you need to show these people? You need to show these people list building and how to set up an autoresponder. You need to show them how to do solo ads. You need to show them how to do ad swaps. You show them how to find an affiliate offer on JVZoo and set it up. But now, you know what the number one thing you need to do? The number one thing, get traffic by doing YouTube marketing. I'm just gonna put that out there. Now, here's how I know that YouTube works. My wife, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you her URL here. I'll give you her URL here on YouTube. Now, she doesn't do this anymore, okay, but she started out Extreme Coupon Exposed. And this is how I know this works. Now, my wife didn't do a bit of SEO. She didn't do any optimization. She didn't do any of that stuff. All she did was create videos. Videos. So she didn't do any keyword stuffing. All she did was good, helpful content on coupons. She interacted with her subscribers. And she monetized with AdSense. And she started out by doing a month's worth of Blog Talk Radio shows. And she got 5,000 subscribers. Now, I'm telling you, anybody can do this. And what's beautiful about YouTube and Blog Talk Radio? What's beautiful about it is that they are free. They're free. Right now, okay, great question. Now, one person said, now she's ranked, right, for CPA profits, right, without any sales. But now, here's what you want to do. Now, if you want to work YouTube, right, if you want to work YouTube, create helpful content, and you got to have a lot of videos. That's the only way to do it. Now, I put my my wife's channel in there, and you can kind of follow her progression, right? That's how she did it. Now, okay. Okay, same thing with the freebie crowd. You do the same thing in order to make money. Udemy and Kindle, create a video course, okay, using Camtasia or Audacity, create a coaching program. You can do any or all of those things. Of course, the easiest, once again, is going to be to either put up your blog and your site and drive traffic to it. Okay, so, okay, now, for those of you all who go ahead and get your site set up tonight, okay, here's what we're going to do. I know that you've got way too many bonuses on your hands, okay? I know that you've got more products on your hard drive than you know what to do with. Okay, so again, I don't want to overload you. So look, here's what I'm going to do. For those of you all who get your site set up tonight, right, you go ahead and you do the setup, right, because this I know will get you started. I'm going to give you an additional business in a box, okay, and a plan. So I'm going to give you this product, the Entrepreneur's Guide to Focus. I'm also going to give you 38 blog posts and a blog theme. And I'm also going to do, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to give you. And here's where the value is, y'all. Here's where the value is. If you go ahead and get your setup done tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put inside of that package a webinar, a live webinar that I'm going to do showing you how to take that product and make money with it. Okay? Now, that means that you're going to get, I'm going to be on live with you. We're gonna get on a Google Hangout style webinar, and I'm gonna show you how to take this. So it's not just a PLR package I'm giving you as a bonus. If you go ahead and do the setup, I'm gonna actually give you a live training on how to take that bonus and make it work. So why am I doing the big bonus? That's because I like to train, and because I'm testing a new webinar system. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I do have an ulterior motive. Okay, I'm going to be, I guess, in about 6 months, I'm probably going to launch my own coaching, right, about 6 months, 7 months. And I want to get you so hooked, right, that when I ask you to become part of my coaching, you won't bat an eye. I don't even want you to think about it. I want you to just, I just want you to come and, I don't even want you to think about it. I just want you to come and do it. That's why I like to train. So I'm going to keep training you and training you and training you and telling you everything I know, and everything I know will make you money, because when I come with my coaching program, I don't even want you to think about it. I don't want you to bat an eye. I just want you to just get started with me. Now, to take advantage of the offer tonight, okay, till midnight, just all it is the setup. You've seen it before. Go to wealthyplr.com/ICM special, okay? Inside of there, I've already put the bonus. So you've got the webinar sign up. You've got the product in there. Russell, if you have already purchased the install, right, you can still get the bonus. Just contact my support guy. Contact our support guy at priorityhelpdesk.net if you've already got it. Okay, and I'm happy to do that for you. Okay. So get the install package at that address. Okay, now, what questions do you have? Okay, I've covered a lot. Okay, I've just about got you at 45 minutes, which was my promise. So now I've gone through all this. Now, what questions do you have about how to take your package and make money? Right? You've got plenty now. You've got plenty of alternatives. You've got plenty of things that you can do. Okay, great question. What's the best way to customize PLR? Now, I'll tell you what I do. Now, and this I learned, I guess, 3 years into internet marketing is the best advice I got, and I do it every time. The first thing you do when you get PLR of any kind, okay, the first thing you do is you download it, you take a look at what you have on the inside, you take a look at the rights, and then you file your PLR and you categorize it based on what it is. Right? Now, when you categorize it based on what it is, what you do every time you get new PLR, you go through the rights and you start putting things in their right categories. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to start getting a collection of stuff on Kindle. You're going to start getting a collection of PLR on Google Hangouts. You're going to start getting a collection of PLR on YouTube. You're going to start getting a collection of PLR on all this different stuff. And what's going to happen is you are going to have at least 4 or 5 different products just by putting them together in different ways. Number 2, you customize PLR with graphics. Right now, if you don't have a graphics person, you need to figure out how to create sales graphics. Now, if you need to outsource it, if you need to get somebody who can do it, if you have kids at home, right? If you have kids, right? If you have teenagers, right? If you have teenagers and if you have college students and you are paying their allowance and paying for everything and they're not working, you need to get them to help you. Right? You got to get them to help you. That's how you do it. Absolutely. Now, one person has asked me again, I'm going to do this right now, and I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to put this, someone's asking me for the URL, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the box for you. Oh, boy. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the box for you again. It's wealthyplr.com/ICM special. Right? So, yeah, you want to get that tonight and make sure that you get that bonus. Right? So, yeah, that's a great. So for those of you who asked, great. There's the link right there. Okay, now, yep, no, that's exactly how you're going to you should be rebranding all your PLR. If you have PLR on your hard drive right now and it's not categorized, if all it is it's in the package that you got that the vendor sent it to you, Well, it can only do you so much good, right? You have to, look, PLR, works if you work it, right? If you put a little bit of work into PLR and you're willing to get some graphics done, right, you can create a new product. Now, if you have kids, high school or otherwise, you need to get them to learn how to do some graphics. Right now, and it's been my experience, and actually, my friend John has told me this. Right now, I'll just tell you this: males, right, males in general, young and old, tend to write copy more aggressively, and aggressive copy tends to sell. Right, and I'm not saying that women cannot or females cannot. I'm just saying that the tendency is for a guy to be more aggressive in what he says in copywriting, right? That's just, and in creating graphics. So that's just as an aside. Okay, someone says the URL isn't working. Let me just make sure. It's WealthyPLR.com/ICM special. Let's see. Let's try to go. Let me just make sure we can get there here. WealthyPLR.com/ICM special /. Okay, I'm going to give that to you again. Let's just make sure it works here. What you might have to do is put the / there, but we'll just make sure of that here. Oh, you know, the problem is, guys, the problem is I misspelled it. I misspelled wealthy. That is the problem. So let me give you the URL, and I promise I will spell it. Yeah, that was my fault. WealthyPLR.com / ICM special. Yep, Krill, I think I got it right this time. I think I got it right. Okay, yeah, great, Ann. Oh, boy. Excellent. Glad you got it, Krill. Appreciate it, my friend. And now, back to any questions that you might have. You know, I want to make sure that if you have questions that I answer them for you, because you know, you want to try to make sure that when you have somebody who will kind of give you from their experience. Now, my perspective as an internet marketer may or may not fit yours, but here's what you need to learn from this. You are going to be able to take what I told you. If you are willing to put yourself into it, you're going to be able to do some things I can't do, right, as an internet marketer. You're going to be able to take this content and do something I cannot do. And if you put some work into it, you are going to be successful in internet marketing. I guarantee you. No, I can't guarantee. I'm sorry. I can't guarantee you'll be successful. But what I can say is that you will be able to move beyond, right, being stuck. Okay, question from Russell. If I want to outsource my graphics, can you give me some suggested sites I don't have kids. Great question. Um, now, when it comes to stuff like this, Russell, the first place I look, right, the first place I would look would be the Warriors for Hire section, right, on the Warrior Forum. That's the first place I would look because they understand marketing, and typically they're not going to be looking for, let's say, they're not going to be looking for a big payday and a big score. Now, you do want to get someone that has some reviews, and typically the more reviews they have, the better, the more they're going to charge, so to say. But you can find people on the Warrior Forum who are looking for a break. They're looking for a way to show what they can do. And when you find these people, sometimes you can develop a relationship with them and you can just have them do all your products. So if you outsource your graphics, the first place I would look, right, if you haven't ever done outsourcing, if you've never worked with anybody to put something together for marketing, I would start in the Warriors for Hire section of the Warrior Forum. Okay, Dean, okay, what about spend content software? And if so, which one do I suggest? Well, because I do most of my content myself, and my wife edits, okay, let me take a step back. There are certain programs that do better than others. I have found that the work that you need to do in order to work around what spend content software doesn't do, right, you'd almost be better off developing a strategy that does not depend on spend content software. Now, I know that that's against conventional wisdom, but you might be better off investing in finding a good JV. Okay, yeah, okay, I feel you. I totally feel you, Dean, on that. The spinning, I used to do it, right? I did. Used to have, who is it? What's the guy's name? John Ledger's spin software, and loved it. But then all I can tell you is I just kind of, I grew out of it, we'll say, right? And so I think last year was the first year I did not pay for the subscription. Yeah, best spinner. Yep. And I just let my subscription lapse because I said, okay, I'm just going to do without it. I'm going to try to find a way not to have to use it. Right? I like the software. It probably still is the best. It's probably still very good. I don't know if it's better than spin content, but I'll just say I just don't use it anymore, if that helps. Great question. Okay, any other questions? You guys have been a great audience here. Definitely appreciate you. If you want to get today's slides, you can get them at WealthyPLR.net /members/training. Okay, we'll be doing some stuff upcoming. I've talked to Dr. John a little bit. We're gonna start doing a little more to help you to become better affiliates, help you to be better marketers, and hopefully you'll promote more of what we have, and you'll create your own. So go ahead and make sure you're getting all that training there at WealthyPLR.net /members/training. You can get today's slides. I've got a bonus product in there for you. And remember, now tonight, you want to take advantage of this offer tonight because that's where you get my bonus package. Now, this is my special bonus package to you because I just want to reward you for being here with me. I just really appreciate you taking your Monday night to be with me. You could have been doing anything else. For those of you who are in the United States, I know you could have been watching Monday Night Football, right? So maybe Monday Night Football is still on. So All right, so everybody, it's about 10 o'clock. We've been on for about an hour. I've had a great time with you. Make sure you're on with us. We want to do more of this for you, and we look forward to getting together with you again soon. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.